What's up, my fellow multifamily investors? So today, how do you wipe out taxes for the remainder of your human existence? How do you do it, and how do you use real estate to make that happen? We're going to get into that today. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to give you real world examples, and today we're going to talk about Mihan and his wife Lauren and how they set themselves up, and he's a dentist, high income earner. She's a home mom working hard at home. How can they set this up to wipe out their taxes by investing in real estate and multifamily? Let me show you, break it down. So, Mihan, a dentist. Lauren's a home mom. Mihan's making, as a dentist, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So they're paying a chunk of money to the Fed and to the state every single year, right? Lots of money he's making, but he's also paying a lot in taxes because he's not using the money game system to benefit him and his family, okay? And let me give you the two options. So option A, he can either just pay it, which is what they've been doing for years and kind of taking it in the shorts, and they're frustrated, right? I mean, imagine you're making a lot of money, you're working hard, you're doing all this stuff, and you just see it going right into a black hole. So he can pay it or he can invest it. Those are his two options. So if he pays it, black hole. We're going to take that and we're going to throw that out the window. That's no longer your option. Option B is to invest it properly so you get bonus depreciation and tax write-offs to wipe out your income. But you need to do it the right way. So you're going to get cash flow, profits, depreciation, in addition to that, appreciation, right? In growth in wealth. My handwriting's horrible. But you got it. So here are the steps to make this happen. Let me change my color of my pen here to make it stand out. So Lauren, because she's a home mom, and this is in your case, if you have a spouse, this is how you would do it if they're not working a 9 to 5. There's another video, I'll set it up if you're both 9 to 5s. There's another video if you don't have a spouse. So we're going to give you 3 different scenarios, but this is their scenario. So Lauren, she's going to go out and get her a real estate license because she can. She's a home mom, not working a 9 to 5. She can get her real estate license, and that's going to help the family unit become a real estate professional. And this is very important. Number 2, Mihan, right? He's going to go out and he's going to buy a multifamily apartment building, or he's going to passively invest into one. And this could be a commercial asset. It could be a syndication you invest into passively, or you go buy a commercial asset, i.e. multifamily is probably the best, but this is how you're going to do it. So let's go through the steps. So Mihan and Lauren, they're paying over $260,000 a year in taxes. That's what they're paying. So this is how they wipe it out. Mihan's going to take that $265,000 that he would normally pay in taxes this year, okay, this year, and he's going to go out and he's either going to invest into a syndication investment where he can get a tax write-off and invest passively. That's option A if you don't want to do any of the work. But if you want to actually own and do the work and do all this, you're going to get the best benefits for that. So let's presume for a minute he's going to buy a 10-unit apartment building. It's going to cost him, depending on where he's buying it, but let's presume the areas you should be buying it, about $900,000. He's going to go out and get a loan for $630,000, about 70% loan to value. Getting that loan, by the way, is easier than getting a $200,000 house loan because it's debt coverage service ratio loans. It's a business. The bank is looking at the property, not you personally. Much easier to get that loan than it is to go get a house loan, okay? So the loan, check. Now you're down to the down payment. You notice how the down payment is pretty equal to the amount of taxes he pays. You see how that works out? $265,000 in taxes, $270,000 is being vested into the down payment of this 10-unit building. Now, when he closes escrow in the same calendar year, keep in mind this all has to happen in the same calendar year so you get the benefits. He's going to get a cost segregation study done. That takes a few $1,000s to get these things done, which is why doing this makes sense on commercial assets, not really residential as much because of the cost of that study and the other benefits to get the wipeouts. So this is why you do it on commercial properties more often. So $5,000, few $1,000s for the cost seg study, right? Approximately. With that, the value of the property is $900,000. That's what he bought it for. At least $300,000 of that $900,000, probably 30%-ish, maybe 40%, but let's say it's 30% or so, is going to be able to bonus depreciate. So when you do this cost seg study, this is done by a third party. They're going to give you a nice little report. That report's going to show you what you can actually write off in bonus depreciate, meaning accelerate the depreciation in this calendar year to offset your taxes. You're basically getting a paper loss. That's all it is. So they're going to show you, give or take, right around $300,000. That's probably what it's going to run into. So that $300,000 in paper loss, that bonus depreciation is going to be able to take this year, year one, and that's going to be used to wipe out this $265,000 in taxable event. But this is where it gets very, very important. Okay, watch. So the $300,000 is now a paper loss. So Mahan, because he bought this property, is going to get a K1 statement from the LLC that owns the 10 unit that he owns. That's going to be a $300,000 paper loss. It's going to show negative 300 grand on that K1 statement. That's going to now pass through to him and his wife, Lauren's tax returns. And because they filed jointly, and because she is a real estate professional, now, this is very important, it's going to wipe out probably about $200,000 of their $265,000 taxable event. You don't get to wipe out your state income taxes altogether. States don't really adhere to the federal tax IRS rules that allow you to do this. Okay, but about $200,000 of his their 265 wiped out, gone. Imagine if you could do that every single year of your life. If you knew if you're making great money doing your profession, but because you set things up right, you and your wife are wiping out. So, I mean, it's either going to a black hole, guys, or it's going into real estate. Black hole or real estate? Black hole or real estate? You choose. Do you like the black hole? Nobody does. Do you like real estate and appreciation, cash flow, wealth, growth, your family, everything you're doing? It's not about the money you make, guys. It's about the money you keep, and you know this. So this is how you play the game. This is the money game. And I'm going to get into why you're allowed to do this here in just a second. So you're going to wipe out 100% of the Fed. Boom. About 25% of your state. Boom. So now you own a multi-million-dollar apartment complex, okay? 10 units or greater, depending on your situation. So option A is you pay Uncle Sam black hole. That's not an option. Option 2 is now you're going to own the real estate. You're going to increase your net worth. Cash flows monthly, appreciation wealth growth, wiping out most of your taxes every single year. And you just rinse and repeat this every single year. And this is why you're wondering why you're like, why don't they pay any taxes? Why does our president not pay taxes? Why do all these wealthy people not pay taxes? How do they do this game? This is the game, right? This is one of the last major write-offs by the IRS tax code that allows you to take massive losses on paper every single year to wipe out taxable events. And this is why this goes down. So why can you do this? It's all about the movement of money. This is the money game. So why is the IRS allowing you to do this? Movement of money. You have to understand why it works. Capitalism, movement of money. You have two groups of people. Creators, contributors. Okay? Creators and contributors. Now, you can be a contributor if you're a 9-to-5er, you're working, you're getting a W-2, well, I don't care what you're making, a lot of money, little money is irrelevant. You're a contributor to society. That's great. But if you want the benefits of this tax code and everything that works into it, you got to become a creator. i.e., that's why if your wife or a spouse is classified as a real estate professional, or you can showcase that you're spending a certain number of hours in real estate activities, you also get that classification. Now you can play both sides of the coin. You can be a contributor earning good money as a dentist, an attorney, a doctor, high income earner. I don't care what you are, tech field, whatever it may be, and you're in the high income W-2 C-suite, you're earning 80, 90, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 a year, big time money, right? But you're in a W-2, you're getting hosed in taxes. And you're trying to figure out, how can I play this game and also be a creator? Because the creator is where all the tax benefits are at. Contributors is where you're getting it deducted, right, from your W-2 taxes or your W-2 checks. So because of that, that's how the IRS looks at this. If you can become a creator, they're going to give you the best tax benefits because you're moving a lot of money. If you move a lot of money, you get the most tax breaks. If you move little money, you get little tax breaks. That's how the system works. And so now you're learning how to play the game of capitalism, movement of money, and work within the IRS tax code to allow you to do this. And think why they're doing this. I want you to understand, it's not like they love you, right? It's not like they love you. They're doing it because the more money that gets moved in society through capitalism, you guys, the more jobs, economics, opportunities, things are created. Because I want you to picture this for a moment. You go buy a 10-unit apartment building, right? You go buy this 10-unit apartment building. Think about the jobs and opportunities and movement of money. You're moving probably $1 million in that transaction, not to mention all the money you're going to move once you own it, right? Property management companies, all the tenants that are going to live in there, contractors that are going to work on the property, all the people involved in the transaction when you transacted it, both when you bought it, maybe when you sell it, maybe you refinance it, you have people working on the property, you have all this happening. It's a great massive movement of money, and you are creating, hence you're a creator, you are creating a lot of opportunities. So because of that, the IRS is like, bravo, thank you. Here's your tax breaks, because want you to do more of it. Because if you're creating all this opportunity and you're moving all this money all over the place, jobs are created, money's moving, contractors, people, tenants, other companies, they're getting money. So do you think the IRS is getting more revenue? Yes, they are. So the more money that gets moved, the more people get money, those people are paying taxes into the systems, more revenue's created, bada bing, bada boom. And you are a creator within it. That's why you get the tax breaks, because they want you to do more of it. They want you to grow that wealth, because eventually the IRS is going to get their piece. They just want it of a bigger pie. So that is how the game works, right? That is how the game works. And all you're doing is playing in it. You're either a creator or you're a contributor. And I'm showing you how you can play the game and do both. If you are in this position and you're a high income earner, if you have a spouse, this is the scenario. We're going to get into other videos that you can watch herein. So make sure you click the videos herein of how you can watch one for, hey, depending on your situation, maybe you don't have a spouse. Maybe you guys are both 9-to-5ers. How are you going to work in those scenarios? So click the videos here and also watch our other ones on how you create wealth through multifamily investing. Follow, like, subscribe, please. Share this so it goes viral so more people can learn this game. I really appreciate your help. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the other side.